most unlikely alliances to the biggest pirate names, One Piece is a treasure trove of legendary team battles. Be it strategy, psychological warfare, or pure overpowered brawn, it's got it all. However, it's not just for the high-octane action, but for furthering important plot lines and character development that these fights stand out. So without further ado, ViniiTube brings to you the top 10 One Piece team battles. Starting off at number 10, a crazy game of whack-a-mole proves quite lethal for Chopper and Usopp. Not exactly the strongest members of the Straw Hats crew. They encounter Baroque Works officer agents Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas, who make a formidable team comprising a mole human, a killer batter, and an explosive sneezing dog. This fight, which comes pretty early in Chopper and Usopp's journey as pirates, is a brilliant showcase of courage and quick thinking. Playing the enemy's strengths against them, the Straw Hats bring them down in a single stroke. Almost always portrayed as a coward, Usopp proves his mettle in his trademark deceptive style. For a doctor and a sniper, the duo perform astonishingly well in a match of strength that's not exactly their forte. More credit to the two, because the false information of Luffy's death not only fails to break their spirit, but spurs them on to vanquish the enemy. Next up at number 9 is the Star Alliance between the Straw Hats and the Heart Pirates as they face the charismatic Don Quixote do Flamingo. From Punk Hazard to Dressrosa, Law has orchestrated the entire game plan leading to the present scenario, with Luffy providing most of the muscle. The Luffy-Law alliance, as we know, is still going strong in the Wano arc. However, Doffy's no pushover. Fighting to hold on to his supremacy, Doffy brings the country he rules to the verge of destruction and almost kills Law, who might not have made it out alive had it not been for Luffy. Even the Straw Hats captain is forced into a corner. The final moments serve up a monumental power-up for the main protagonist and the fall of a fearsome villain. But just when you think you've seen it all, a sleeping giant awakens. The real kingpin behind the fake devil fruit trade, Yonko Kaido, enters the stage.
最後の戦闘準備を整えろ！こんな退屈な世界壊れてもいい。世界最高の戦争を始めようぜ！
At number 8 is the monumental climax of the Paramount War in Marineford. It's a bloody carnival where colossal powers on both sides collide, but the stars of the show are Whitebeard and his division commanders going head-to-head with the three admirals, Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. Many arcs later, this war lives on in our memory, not just for the literal earth-shattering powers that are displayed, but for the principles the contenders fight for. Marineford shows Whitebeard's resolve to rescue Ace, whom he considers a son, even if it means putting everything on the line, including his own health. A preeminent pirate from the time of Gold D. Roger, when Whitebeard finally falls, we bear witness to the end of an era. On the one hand, we see a pirate with noble ideals, and on the other, we witness the unscrupulous nature of the Marines, who are ready to use any underhanded means to achieve victory. In the end, it's almost symbolic to see Marineford in ruins while the resolute Whitebeard stands tall before it, even in death. One Piece may be one of the biggest anime out there, but do you know that it can't be watched legally in some places? Luckily for you, today's sponsor has something to say about it. Introducing ExpressVPN, the #1 VPN service in the world. Just like the new world, browsing the internet these days without a VPN is actually quite dangerous. VPNs are aplenty, so how do we determine the best VPN of them all? I think the ease of use is the biggest factor, and ExpressVPN has that title won, no questions asked. With the ability to access so many different servers from across the globe, bypassing region locks and protecting your identity has never been this easy. So now you can follow One Piece and never miss a beat. legally at that. Just go to Netflix, open up ExpressVPN and click on the Canada server. Boom! Now you can watch your favorite pirates in one piece without any pop-ups and ads. But you've got to experience it yourself, so I'll be giving you a hand. All you have to do is go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube to get your first 3 months free. Or you could check the link in the description box. Install ExpressVPN now. It's going to be the best decision you'll ever make. In the 7th spot is Luffy and Beej's ambush on Big Mom as she hosts an extravagant tea party to mark her daughter's wedding to Sanji. In a scenario straight out of a fairy tale, with giant animated cakes and teapots, multiple sinister plots lurk behind the smiling faces. Unknown to Big Mom or her fearsome children, the Straw Hats, in cahoots with the fire tank pirates under Capone Beej, plan to assassinate her and rescue Sanji. The complexity with which Oda has written this melee is praiseworthy. A dozen different scuffles break out, and in the chaos, Luffy heads straight for Big Mom. His goal is to break a memento she holds extremely dear, thereby shocking her into incapacitating herself and giving Beej time to attack. This fight stands out for its brilliant strategy and riveting action, made all the more engaging by the spectacle that is Big Mom and her deceptively cute army. And it once again cements Luffy's reputation as an icon of courage, even if it is to the point of stupidity. Number 6 is the shout out to Team Spirit as the Straw Hats fight an impossible enemy in the eerie Thriller Bark arc. When he was alive, Oars was known as the Continent Puller, which says something about his colossal strength. When the Straw Hats encounter him, he's an even bigger nightmare as he's been reanimated with the addition of Luffy's shadow. The first impression this fight makes on us is that it shows the Straw Hats fight side by side as a crew for the first time. In almost every other battle, they're in the habit of going off on their own. And what's more, their teamwork is effortless, regardless of fighting style, power level, or any other differences that they've got. Working against a time limit, none of them lose hope, but continue to think on their toes while fighting a beast with no apparent weakness. The faith with which they fight to the last man in order to buy time for their captain is remarkable. It makes us want to see the Straw Hats fight as one again and again. Moving on to number 5 is the Monster Trio's first assignment on their return after the time skip. This isn't the first time the Straw Hats have encountered the pacifistas. These cyborgs, created in the form of the former Shichibukai Bartholomew Kuma, pack almost as much power as a Marineford battleship. In a strange stroke of fate, at the exact location where Luffy and his crew didn't stand a chance against the deadly human weapons, we get a rematch. Giving us a first peek at the armament haki, Luffy declares the pacifista to be too slow before one-shotting it into a heap of junk. Another one follows close, but his two right hands, Zoro and Sanji, take care of it in the blink of an eye. In the span of just 2 years, the three men have grown exponentially in power, bringing them that much closer to completing their journey and realizing their dream of obtaining the One Piece. Worthy of their title of the Monster Trio, this demonstration of power is just a drop in the ocean as we've seen so far. Grudge matches don't get better than this. At number 4, Inuarashi and Neko Mamushi take on Kaido's All-Star Jack. two Mink leaders have a score to settle with Jack for having poisoned and tortured their people on Zou. Under the shimmering moonlight, the Minks go into their Sulong forms, and boy oh boy, they are magnificent. With their accelerated speed and immense power, Jack can barely keep up with them. Amongst the most picturesque duels fought in Wano, this dance under the moonlight feels magical and fateful. Inuarashi and Nekomamushi not only defeat Jack, but a horde of Kaido's subordinates to boot, depleting a massive portion of his fighting force. Even the Yonko is compelled to acknowledge their strength here. For a very short time, the impact is tremendous. However, it doesn't end there. Inuarashi takes up the gauntlet once again, setting the stage for a one-on-one fight with Jack that definitely makes the taste of vengeance that little bit sweeter. And that brings us to the big three. Zoro and Sanji take on the other two of Kaido's all-stars, King and Queen.
花形登場だよい。
In this battle between the wingmen of Yonko, Kaido and aspiring Pirate King Luffy, who would you bet on? The most anticipated fight of the season, the kickoff most certainly lives up to the hype. Just as Sanji's having a tough time battling King and Queen together, the heavily bandaged Zoro wakes up thanks to a miracle drug. The Wano arc has saved some of the most epic entrances for Zoro, and this is definitely one of those. After suffering a terrible injury fighting alongside the captain against Kaido, Zoro heads into the second round looking better than ever. Sanji too, having disgraced himself earlier by leaving Black Maria to Robin, is resolved to prove himself, and Queen is his ticket to redemption. Moments into the fight, the two all-stars are sent flying. In the runners-up spot then, the Akazaya 9, Gozuki Oden's most trusted retainers, give it all they've got to avenge their lord after a torturous 20-year wait. The object of their outrage is Kaido in his dangerous dragon form, but the Nine stand undaunted with their swords drawn. Unlike other fights in One Piece, this one stands out for its pure Japanese essence. It's almost like watching an Akira Kurosawa samurai film, especially when the Avengers use Oden's signature two-sword style for the final attack. Not lacking in heroism, this scene brings back all the terrible deeds done by Kaido, including boiling Wano's true ruler Oden in oil for over an hour and reducing his country to a wasteland. The rage, as you can imagine, is palpable. Pouring in all of their emotions and regret, the Nine deliver the final assault and cut Kaido at the exact spot where Oden had wounded him all those years ago. But good doesn't always prevail over evil, does it? Beaten to a bloody pulp, Kinemon passes on his master's will to Luffy in one of the most saddest moments in One Piece history. It's now time for the winner. And by that we mean the apocalyptic collision between Yonko's Kaido and Big Mom, more beast than human, and 5 of the worst generation: Luffy, Zoro, Kid, Killer, and Law. In a continuation of the amazing fight at number 2, Luffy takes up the mantle to bring down Kaido and free Wano for the fallen samurai. Watching Luffy fight with new teammates is always refreshing, and each one of them packs a mean punch too, you know. Zoro especially excels at cutting through a colossal combined attack and slashing through Kaido's extremely tough body, which even the Akazaya 9 failed to do. The action is glorious, especially the masterclass in Conqueror's Haki, which most of the parties present are capable of wielding, whether consciously or unconsciously. But what makes this fight even more impactful is the anticipation it raises. An upgrade in power for Luffy is all but certain. Even if the epic encounter ends prematurely with our hero falling off the island, we can be sure of one thing: when he finally does resurface, Kaido is going down. Oh yes. With so much to look forward to, not forgetting Zoro and Sanji's ongoing fight on the performance floor, the wait is actually that much more than maddening. But hang in there for what's to come, and it's surely gonna blow us away. With that thought, we come to the end of this video about the top 10 One Piece team battles brought to you by ViniiTube. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe, and do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.